All right, I am Mrs. Dittbrenner. I'm from Beatrice Middle School. I'm the media specialist, so I go to the classrooms and help with technology. And we are starting a small-scale rollout in January with 6 of our teachers are getting Chromebook carts in their room, but they have to stay in the room. So we're starting it on a small scale. I don't think all of our teachers are ready to teach with a device all the time, okay? So that's where we're at. You guys are a little bit ahead of us. Hopefully it will turn out really well for you guys, and we maybe can pick up some tips, okay? Google Drive, what I'm showing you today is essentially to stop your Google Drive from looking like some of your guys' lockers, which is 6 inches of paper at the bottom, and you need something to turn in and you're the one digging through the bottom of your locker, or you have that Trapper Keeper and papers everywhere, and your parents bought you some folders, but you've never opened them or used them, okay? And so what I'm doing today is going to try to help you not have that when you get into your Google Drive, okay? Go ahead. All right, so this is a drive, a sample drive. It's got the list of your documents, okay? There's no rhyme or reason, there's no organization to this whatsoever. It's just listed. You can see we have some files, you can see we have a doc, we have some spreadsheets. There's not any rhyme or reason to how they are organized. It's you. Okay? This is the same kind of a deal. This is for a visual person. You don't want the list. You want a grid view. It takes a snapshot of the first page and puts it on there. But again, we have a presentation next to a doc. We've got a spreadsheet here. Okay? So there's no organization to this. So we're going to try to help you get it so that there is some organization. Okay? This is a sample of a drive that has folders for each topic or class. For me, it's not necessarily classes. Okay? This is a teacher that I work with. This is my personal stuff. This is a civics class I work with. Okay? But you notice I still have some stuff down here. And my method is about every month or so, if it's sitting down there, I'll go slide it into the folder. Whereas some people put it in immediately, okay? And that's probably a better method to slide that in immediately, but just to get it in places, okay? All right, so we're gonna make a folder. First of all, you're in your Gmail right now, right? Okay, and so if you're in your Gmail, in the upper right-hand corner, do you see the 9 boxes? Everywhere in Google Apps for Education, you'll have these 9 boxes, right? You click on that, and that's going to open your menu for the different apps. And I know they're not all there because the one I use the most doesn't show, which is YouTube, or it's one of the ones I use a lot. And that's because whenever kids upload any sort of a video or a movie of any sort, I upload it through my YouTube channel, and then we make it, it's a closed channel, nobody can get to it other than our students, and I make it available for the kids or for the staff members to use it, okay? So how do I get to that? Do you guys see all those icons? Is there more at the bottom of that menu? You see more? If you click on that, do a bunch more open? Yeah. Okay. So this is your biggest place to find things. If you can get into your Gmail, go here, and that'll get you anywhere you need to go, okay? So go ahead and click that, and right now, please click on Drive. So does your drive look similar to this? Probably not having folders, but having some documents showing right now? What do you have? You have folders already. Some people have folders, and that depends on if you've had a teacher, a language arts teacher possibly, that had you set those up, okay? But some of you don't. Some of you have 1 or 2. All right, we're going to make some new folders. Everything you do in Drive is going to happen most likely over here. You're going to click on New, and we're going to make a folder. All right? And I want you to name this folder Trial, and after I'm gone, sometime over the next couple of weeks, you're going to get rid of it, okay? But we're not going to mess with any of your actual stuff, so that's why we're making this one. All right, do you want to advance it for us? Okay, and you're going to name your folder. So did you get a screen like this when you clicked on it? Okay, you're going to name it, and you're going to click Create. And then I have that your newly created folder should be placed in the upper left corner of your list of folders, but that's not necessarily true for all of you because it depends on what your setting is set for, okay? So we'll get a chance to set that up based on your preferences, okay? Next. All right. Some of you are very visual. You're going to want to color code those. Some of you couldn't care less what color they are, and gray is great for all of them, okay? But what we're going to do right now is you're going to take the time, you're going to think of your schedule that you have starting in January, and if you don't know, my understanding is yesterday we got in through Canvas, and you could look at future enrollments, okay? And a couple of the kids struggled with that, so then one of the girls said if you go to Power School, the app, you could figure out what your classes are. So right now we're going to make a folder for every one of your classes, okay? So again, you go to New, you want to go back for me? Can you press the up arrow? Okay, you're going to go back, you're going to hit this New, and then you're going to click New Folder, and we're going to make one for every one of your classes right now, okay? So let's go ahead and do that. If anybody doesn't know what their next set of classes is going to be, we'll try to help you figure it out, okay?
Most of your classes should be the same unless you're switching 7, 8 classes, junior high, and then obviously high school that you're switching. But junior high, you should just switch your 7, 8 class and then everything for 8.
The question was asked, can I make folders within my folders? Yes, okay? Like our math teachers, they have them create a folder. In that folder, they have subfolders for bell ringers, for notes, okay? So you can do that as well. Let's say we have in our language arts classes, they all have vocabulary that they take all year. They send them a folder that will have, they do some crosswords. If you take the pretest and don't do well, some of the activities are in one folder, some of the words are in a different folder.
I was creating these, and it's not letting me do it anymore.
You know what, let's go out of it and go back in.
Yeah, so
Okay, let's close your drive there. And let's try going back in. Because I know there's no way that you have too many, because mine had like...
That worked for me.
Did it? Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Usually with Google Apps for education that you guys are going to be using, if you run into a little snag or it just isn't doing what you want it to do, if you'll just close that page and then open it back up, you'll be okay. All right, you want to go down 2 for us? Okay. So now we have a chance to kind of customize these. Do we need more time? Has everybody got their folders? Okay, I'll give you 1 more minute, all right? Is everybody else done? This whole group over here did you guys all make folders for each class? Not yet, okay. And you're a high schooler, right? No, yes, based on your computer, okay. So you have 4 coming up in January, all right? And then you're a high schooler, you're a middle schooler. Do you have your 7 or 8 in? Okay. Okay, we're going to go ahead and go on. If you didn't get them all made, you can make them later. You saw how long it takes. It's very quick. Now, you have a choice. Again, we're in the list mode here, right? And in this list mode, that's how some of you think. You're very sequential. You like it like this. Some of you like it with a snapshot, okay? Your folders will be at the top, and then a snapshot of each document or presentation that you have. So you can click right here to choose which do I want, okay? So here's mine. In the grid view, and I have a ton. Actually, this one isn't mine, but this is somebody else's. It's another teacher's, okay? Next. All right. So we can customize that a little bit, how things appear to you. We can click on this A to Z here. We can have them come up alphabetical, just simply A to Z. and we can switch it Z to A. We can do it by last modified or last modified by me. So what would be the difference there? Why would I have a last modified and a last modified by me?
Like if we move the folders.
Close? Any idea why I would have a last modified and a last modified by me and how they could be different? Somebody shared it with me, okay? Or something I shared with somebody else, all right? If you only look at the ones that are last modified by me and you're working with a group, you're not going to necessarily see, unless you open it up, the changes that somebody else made. So I always choose last modified so that if I open it and I see it's at the top, sometimes that's a reminder to me, oh yeah, I was supposed to be working on that, okay? Sometimes it's nice to have the last open by me. If I'm searching for something and I just cannot find it, and I know I was just working on it, I could also search it, or I could just change it to last open by me. It'll shuffle and I can find it, and then I can change it back. There is a better way to search it, but that is one option, okay? And that's not really a search. It's just reordering your files and your folders, okay? All right, this is going to save some of you. This is going to be your best friend, because you are going to be like several of my kids at Beatrice Middle School, and they'll come in and they'll go, Google did it. Google did what? They lost my stuff. Okay, in 5 years of working directly with kids and with Google, we've yet to have somebody lose something. So I'm like, okay, let's log in, see what's going on. And when I look at their drive from here clear down to here, the first 10 or 15 are all called untitled. They never gave it a name. They open one, nope, that's not it. They open two, maybe three, they get frustrated and like, it's gone. Well, this we're going to be able to search. What was it about? What was my FCS project that's due today? And I go, okay, what were you making in FCS? Granola bars. We can go in and we can type granola bars. And any one of those documents in there that has granola bars in it will pop up. Okay? We could also search it by the name of the person if somebody shared it with me. Okay? So if you don't remember what they titled it, but you know they shared it with me, just put their name in. Smith or Ditbrenner or whatever it's going to be. Okay? It's kind of nice because you can also look over here and see, oh, that's right. Okay, that was from Mrs. Winter. All right? So for some of you, that's going to be your big savior right there. Okay? Otherwise, you're going to think the same thing a lot of my kids think. It's gone. I can't find it. Okay? All right. So Google Docs, this is their selling points, according to them. And I will not read this all to you, but I'm going to talk to you just a little bit. The nice thing is you can upload a Word document. Now, you don't have Word on these computers, but a lot of you have Word at home. Okay? So if you have something at home that you really need to be on your drive, on your computer at home, log into Drive, open it up, and on the new, where we made a folder, we're going to go to Upload a File. Okay? Simple as that. Okay? We'll do a couple things beforehand so that when you do it, it already makes it into a Google Doc instead of leaving some of the formatting that comes with Microsoft Word. Now, they say you can add flair and formatting to your documents by adjusting yada, 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 right? How many have used Microsoft Word? Okay, how many have used Google Docs? All right, when you're looking at that, and when you're thinking of being creative, which one allows you to be a little bit more creative or a lot more creative? Word. Word does, okay? So if we're talking about making things look pretty or look nice or being able to format it better, I would have to agree that Microsoft Word is nicer for that. But the big part is we can invite other people to work with us, all right? We can collaborate online in real time and chat. And I will tell you, the kids at Beatrice Middle School lost chat as a function. You can go in and have it shut off. Don't blow it. And there was one session yesterday I was doing, and those kids were just obnoxious with it. Okay, while we were trying to show them stuff. if they leave chat enabled for you, which Mr. Essink is a lot more gentle-spirited than our technology guy, if they leave it enabled, don't blow it. Okay, don't be sitting there chatting, because that's what was happening. Teachers were using it in class and kids were just messing around and they weren't listening at all. And so we just had to have it shut off. And it eliminated the problem, but it also took away the ability to chat when you're at different houses and you're trying to work together, okay? Good. This is a big one. View your document's revision history and go back to any previous versions. And I think in your school, judging from what I saw yesterday, this could be a big one too, translating a document. Because you think, well, I speak English. What if you have a project and someone in your group doesn't speak English super well? How are you going to make that work? Well, Google makes it easier for you to get that to be more doable, okay? All right. So we're going to make a doc, which you've all done, right? And if you're in the actual docs page, you're going to get the plus sign that you can click on. Sometimes, some versions have a plus sign down here in the corner. It's a circle with a plus. You guys are right now in Drive, so you're going to go to the upper left-hand corner to the New button, and you're going to click on Doc. And when you do that, yours should look like my screenshot here. Raise your hand when you're at this point, okay? All right. And what is the very first thing you need to do? Title it. Okay? So just go click on it. All right? Click on it and name it Trial Doc, please. Trial Doc. And when you have that, stand up. Okay? So you are taking this document you just created and you're going to name it Trial Doc and then stand up, okay? Do you need to close it and open it again and see if that'll do it? Okay, have a seat. And the nice thing about Google Docs and any of the apps for education is they save as you go. So the most work you ever should lose realistically is 20 to 30 seconds. And it's going to tell you as you go along, changes being saved. Changes saved 5 seconds ago, okay? So that's really nice because you know, okay, I worked and worked and worked on a Microsoft Word. You're told a million times to save as you go, but you get busy and you're typing away and you're creating things and something goes wrong, right? And everything you had worked on was lost. I know Microsoft Word has put in a recovery thing, but that doesn't always recover all of it, okay? This is nice because you really shouldn't lose more than 30 seconds, okay? All right, so now we have a couple of options here. You can move that newly created document to a folder a couple of ways, all right? Let's go back to your Drive. So look across the top at your tabs and open Drive. And you should see the folders you created and you should see the trial doc you created. Does everybody see their trial doc? Yes? Okay, you have two ways you can do it from this screen, and I'm pretty sure I know which way you're going to choose. But the first one is simply right-click on Trial Doc. This pop-up menu comes up. You have all those options, and you're going to choose Move To, and you're going to choose which folder. Well, what folder do you think we're going to put it in?
Trial.
The trial folder. Or you can simply grab the document and take it up, slide it into your trial folder. So either way. So when you have it moved, raise your hand. Okay, two ways to do it again. Right-click on the document itself. The pop-up window will come up. It's going to ask you, hey, what do you want to do with it? You have a whole bunch of options. You're going to choose Move To, and then you're going to tell it which folder you want to move it to. That's one way. Or you can simply grab this document, okay, and take it over and put it in your trial folder. Everybody got it moved? We're good? Does anybody need help moving one? Okay, so a good rule of thumb would be to do it a little bit more often than I told you I do it. If you're not starting a class, okay, because I don't want you to hold up a teacher's class. But if you sit down and you realize, I have 5 documents I created here and they're not where they need to be, quick grab those and throw them into the folders that they should go. Okay? Well, once I move it into a folder, so I take this and put it here, it disappears from this screen, right? So how am I going to access that? How will I see that document? You've got to open the folder then. So if all of you click on trial right now, what do you see on your screen? What do you have in that folder? One thing, right? Okay. Next. This is just walking through it. Go ahead. All right, so collaborating. This is the biggest piece here that makes Microsoft Word not even be usable in a school setting, in that we can work with other people, okay? 2 of you are in here are supposed to get together and work on a project. You've kind of left it go. You have 2 days left, and your friend got in trouble at home, and they're grounded. Okay? Can't have anybody over, and I can't go anywhere. That used to mean we're in trouble. One of us is going to have to do the whole project, and that really kind of stinks, right? Well, now it's as simple as one person makes a document, and they're going to share it with the other people in their group. Who has done this so far? Who's collaborated on a document? Okay? And have you enjoyed that? Has that been a good thing? Okay? Plus, it's kind of awkward sometimes when teachers assign you a partner and you don't really know them real well, and it's a big enough one that you're not getting it done at school. It's kind of awkward to go to each other's house. This kind of helps with that, okay? So, share. All right? Let's see what options we have when we press share. Okay, you have a couple of options. I'm going to show you this. I don't know how often you'll use this. This might be more for teachers, but you can choose to get a shareable link. Okay? And when you choose that, here's the screen that pops up. And for me, all of my stuff gives me the warning, hey, I can share it with anyone at Beatrice Public Schools. They can edit it. They can comment. They can view. Can I get it outside of Beatrice Public Schools? Well, right now, we're able to share. Okay? I believe you guys are as well. Yours will just say anyone at Fairbury Public Schools. Okay? But don't blow it, because that is something else that can be turned off, to where the only time you can share is if the other person has that Fairbury Jeff's address. Okay? So this would be when you have a whole bunch of people that are going to work on the same document and you don't know their email addresses, which in your school you can't use that excuse because you just start putting their name in and it will pop up, right? So this would be if you're working maybe on a 4-H project, something of that nature. Or a teacher doesn't want to go search all those kids. They could do the shareable link, post it on their webpage, and kids could click into it. Okay? All right. You have a couple of choices when you do that link. You can make it public. You can make it so only a person with the link has it. Okay, you can make it public just in your domain, so anybody at Fairbury Public Schools. Okay, or you can make it anybody at Fairbury that has the link, or you could turn it off and only specific people, and then you have to list who those people are. Okay? But again, I think that's probably going to be more teacher-driven there. Now, what you guys are most likely going to use is you're going to share it with the people in your group, because you're probably not going to have that many. All right? So you're going to simply go in and you're going to put their email addresses in. I see we have a speech coming up. Maybe a group, one of the groups could share something and you all could start commenting ideas of what speech you're going to work on, or here are some ideas and you each read them and you comment on them, whatever, okay? So that would be a way you could share it. Big thing is right here, make sure you assign the appropriate privileges. Can edit means they can change everything. Okay, funny story on that. A couple years ago, when I was trying to get my teachers to use it, I had constantly sent things out for this one teacher, and I said, okay, not doing this anymore. I'm going to send you the directions one more time, and I want you to try it on your own. So she came in, she was all excited. She's like, I made it, I shared it. All the kids have got it, I think. We're good to go. All right. Well, at that time, the reading rooms had couches, and so when they used Chromebooks, they had to come in the media center so that they had tables. On this day, that was a great thing because all of a sudden, her class is normally pretty on task and pretty quiet. And I noticed it was getting louder, and I noticed there was side conversations, and I could just kind of hear it getting louder. And then I finally heard somebody say, "What did you just type?" So I started listening a little closer. And then somebody else typed something, and somebody erased something, and somebody changed a font to like size 54. And I hear her go, "What is going on? What are you guys doing?" So I just roll my chair out of my office, peek my head out, and I go, "Jaden, why did you just type this?" And his face gets real red, and he goes, I didn't." I go, "Come here." So he comes in my office, and I go, "Look, right here." Tells him, "That's your cursor, it matches." And he's like, so she comes around in there, she's like, "Can you tell?" And then she's all frazzled because she had put several links that the kids were supposed to use for this particular assignment, and they were messed up. And so make sure you assign the correct rights. What did she need to choose? She wanted can view. She doesn't want their comments on it. She just wants them to be able to see it and use it, okay? But not be able to change it, all right? We have a lot of teachers that use the can comment, have students write something and then they can comment back. That's really nice because you do a rough draft and you share it with the teacher and they can simply come over here and highlight it, and then they'll type something here that says, "Hey, this is a run-on sentence. This sentence doesn't fit in this paragraph," etc. Okay? So there's a couple different reasons you would use each of those functions. All right. Again, when you put their name in, so this is my para, and I've shared something with her, then it pops this box open. And I would suggest to you that anytime you share something with a teacher, you always add a note so they understand why you are sharing it with them. Because a couple of weeks ago, I had a student share something with me, and there was no message to me whatsoever, and it said she shared her FCS project with me. Okay, I don't do anything with the FCS projects unless the kids come up and need help with the technology side of it. So I have to be honest and say it was screaming busy and I didn't open it. And she came in and she goes, "I didn't get that part of my project done because you didn't do your part." I was like, "Whoa, what are you talking about?" She goes, "I sent you an email a long time ago." She said, "I shared a document with you." And I said, "Hang on." So I went and searched my stuff and I was like, "Okay, yep, I do remember this." I said, "There's no note or anything here. It says FCS project." She goes, "Well, you should have known." No, I shouldn't have known. I didn't know. I didn't do it. It was a quick questionnaire on my eating habits, and she probably would have failed anyway based on my eating habits. But I still didn't do it. So if you want a teacher to do something for you or to help you with something, make sure you add a note. Okay? Because then when you press send, they get an email. And this is what the email would look like. Okay? Somebody has shared something. It tells them what rights they have. It tells them the name. Here's my little message to them. And then they have the button to click it. Okay? So they can open it. Go ahead. All right? And now that's not going to appear in my drive. It's going to appear in shared with me because somebody else made it. Right? So you can run your drive and you can run them shared with me, or you can move those things in there. All right? So go ahead. We can change that. We can pick that document that was shared with me, and we can come up here to the recycle looking icon with the plus, and we can choose to move it into our drive. So then because that always gets me, I'm like, I cannot find it. And then I'm like, oh, that's right, I didn't make it. Okay? So you want to take that and move it into your drive. All right? You can also share an entire folder. There's not a lot of cases probably where you're going to share an entire folder. One of the example is the 8th graders just finished with a project that they start 2 weeks before the end of first quarter, and it's done at the end of second quarter. They've got pictures, they've got captions, they've got a bibliography, they've got a process paper, and they work in groups on that. Then one person would make a folder and make the documents and share that folder with the other kids in their group. And then kids can go in and add to whichever piece they're working on. So that would be an example of when you might use that. But I don't know how often you guys are going to share the whole folder. But here's how you do it. Okay, you click on the, right-click on the folder you want to share. So in this case, the writing folder. Click share, and then it'll have that screen pop up, and who do you want to share it with? Okay? All right, collaborating. This is where it kind of gets fun. This is where it got really out of control in one of the sessions. And I say out of control, I lost them at that point. They were seeing how many characters they could make their document long and see who could change it and whatever. Okay? The nice thing about this is when you collaborate with somebody, so I want all of you to click on share. Okay? Once they get into your document, you can see that they're in there. Okay? So this is my para whose name is Erin. So she doesn't have a picture uploaded, so the E shows up. So let's say I had 5 in here. If I want to know where Erin specifically is working, her icon is kind of a pinkish red. I just go find her pinkish red cursor. Okay? So I can tell who's changing what. So go ahead, you guys all click share. Look around the room, see if you see someone you're comfortable with just making a document with. Okay, real quick. And remember to give them can edit rights. And when you have shared it with someone in here, stand up. Okay? When you've shared it with someone in here, stand up. So I know we can do this next step, okay? Did you guys share it with somebody? Can you just share between you two? Do you know each other's name? Okay, so you're going to have to talk to each other, okay? Girls, can you share over there between you two? Okay. You guys shared back there? That's okay. You can share it with 3 ways. That's fine. Okay, so now go back to your Gmail. They helped each other, I think. Okay, so now you have to go back to your Gmail and see if you can find the document they just shared with you.
It's not showing.
Just hit refresh. Sometimes it takes a little bit for it to recognize.
Is there now?
No?
Did you share it or did she share it?
We both shared it.
Okay.
Go into, let's go back to it. Under docs and go with the shared.
And it says right now you saved it with Sadie.
Yeah.
Is that how you spell her last name? Her first name? Is that spelled right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's try it one more time. So it's Sadie dots. Looks like it's recognizing it.
Yeah. I see D. I can't even read it.
That's right.
Is that spelled right, Sadie?
Yeah.
Because now her icon came up.
Yep, there you go.
So maybe it just wasn't spelled quite right. And then, okay, so let's go to your document.
Okay, you guys all found it? Okay, so play with it a little bit while we're helping the others. Okay? So who'd you share with? These guys? So if you type something, can you type a message to him? Is he already up there on there? Okay, so can you see his stuff when he's typing?
He's not in.
Who did he share with?
He's in mine.
Okay, it's a different document. Okay.
How am I in yours?
I shared, you can share with more than one person, so then you can.
That's okay. So he shared with you. You got to open it in order to see it. But if you open his, you're not going to see his. So that's okay. All right. So you kind of get just a real quick trial there. How many of you can see the icon up here? Do you see their icon? What color it is? Okay. How many people could I share this with realistically, and all of us be working on it at once? The last I checked, the magic number was 50. Okay? And that gets pretty chaotic if 50 people are all trying to work on the same document. So then you have to insert a little bit of courtesy on that. And what you do is, okay, if I see a bunch of people's cursors here, I always tell my students, move down 2 lines before you start typing, so you're not typing right in the middle. Okay? All right, let's go ahead and move on. Did they get them now?
I'm just gonna have them look in the drive if the shared with me.
You know what? If they didn't put a message, that might be where it's at.
Yeah,
Okay.
so let's try that. Just go to the drive and share.
All right, you want to move us to the next page?
There it is. Yep, she didn't hang it out. And same thing with you.
Okay. So, girls, I forgot to mention to you guys, these two didn't make a message. Remember how I said that? Hey, don't do that, okay? These two didn't make a message to each other, so they didn't get an email, so they were having trouble finding it. When that happens, when you don't send a little message, all it does is share it directly to the Shared With Me folder. And so you may not know, hey, you never made that. Yeah, I did. And we watched these girls do it, and we weren't seeing it appear. I forgot about that. If you don't send the message, it's not going to send you an email. It's simply going to go into your Shared With Me folder and be sitting there. But if you don't see an email to remind you that it got started, you're probably not going to realize that they even made it. All right, on your Google Doc, if you go to the upper left-hand corner and click on File, do you see something called Revision History? Okay, when you click on it, this is what it looks like. So can I have everybody's attention back up here? Okay, this is really nice because that same project I was just talking to you about, one of the guys I work with came in and he goes, I am going to hurt my son's partner. And I looked at him, I was like, this is not like this guy. He's very laid back. The kids absolutely love him. I'm like, okay, so what happened? He goes, we worked for an hour and a half Wednesday night working. He would type something and I would read it back to him and we were making sure we looked at the criteria. He's like, we got that whole paper done and it's like 5 paragraphs that you answer questions for. I said, okay. He goes, and his partner went in and changed it all. And he said, not for the better. I said, oh, and he goes, if I get a hold of him, I might strangle him. And I said, okay, wait a second. Did you do this on their Google accounts? He goes, well, yeah, they said they had to. I said, well, that's awesome. So I said, let's log in. So he logged into his kid's account. I had to look up some passwords and get him in for his son. And I clicked on revision history, and I said, when did you say you were working on it? He goes, Wednesday night. He goes, my kid even missed church. And I go, okay, so that's got to be around 7 o'clock. And I look at his whole list of revisions here, and I can see that his partner did indeed make a lot of revisions. And I said, okay, so I clicked on this one, and I said, all right. He goes, that's it. I said, that's the one that you and your son finished? Yes. I said, that's the version you want? Well, when we clicked on it, we get a message that says, restore this version. And so I simply clicked on that. Paper comes back up, looks like that's exactly what he wanted. He looked at me and he goes, oh, all right, he can live another day. And so he goes, print that. Print it right now. I said, all right. So I printed him a copy. He goes, all right, I've got it in my hands, so if they make any more crazy changes. So it was nice because that dad wasn't as frustrated anymore, okay? Teachers also use it because let's say the 3 of you are working together and she walks in and she goes, I did this whole project. They did nothing. Okay, your teacher can go to revision history and can look. Oh, wait a minute. Right here are 2 paragraphs that she typed last night. He typed one yesterday morning. You didn't do the whole thing. Do you see what I'm saying? So it's very nice for us to be able to look and go, okay, that's not totally true. It might feel like it, but really they did some, okay? So that's a big one for us. All right, next screen, please. Translating. I see that you guys have some kids that don't speak English fully or don't speak English well. So you just made a trial document, right? And you want them to be able to work with it, but they don't read English super well. You can go to Tools and click on Translate Document. And it doesn't mess with your copy because a lot of you are like, well, I don't speak Spanish, so if you translate that, I won't know it. It makes us a new copy. So this is what we did last year when we got a student in who spoke Thai. None of us spoke Thai. Our ESL teacher didn't speak Thai, so we had some struggles. We would just take things that were created in Google Docs, we would make a translated copy, and their Thai version is not the same dialect that he spoke, but he could pick out a lot of the words. So we were able to make that work for a while. So this would work for you if you need to, if you type something and you need to share it with somebody who speaks Spanish better than they speak English, or if you need to work together. Okay? If you're going to make some changes, you guys had your Google Docs session already, I would think, right? No? So is that your last one maybe? No? Okay, well, real quick. You can move your document. If you've created it and you realize I need to get that in my English folder, go to File. You can move your folder or move it to your folder. You can throw it away if you don't want it anymore. You realize, oh, I already started this. I don't need it. The big thing is at the bottom is the page setup. That's where you're going to adjust your margins. That's where you can turn it from portrait to landscape. Okay, so some of those things. Next. All right. And this might be my most favorite thing here, this tab, the Tools tab. Of course, you can check spelling, get a definition or a word count from this screen. But more importantly, if you click on the research function, so if you click on Tools and choose Research, tell me what happens on your screen. You're in your Google Doc, click on the Tools tab, click on Research. What popped up? What was it? Did you get a Google search bar on the side? Okay, the nice thing here, you guys, is when you search directly there and you take something and put it in your document, it will cite your source automatically for you. Okay, so if I take a picture and I slide it in there, let's say I need a map of South America and I slide it in there, it's going to put a little 1 after it, and then at the bottom in the footer, it's going to tell everybody that reads my paper, hey, this is where I got it. This isn't mine. I didn't create it. Give credit to who made that map. Okay? And then for some of you, voice typing. Has anybody used that yet? Did you? Okay. Some of you type painfully slow. You click on voice typing.
And Braden Graham, Greg Bort, Seth Hart, Garrett Ragland, Emily Berkeley, Hallie Carnegie, Tyler Heidemann, Trevin Lykin, Ashley Griffey, Evie Schwab, Caitlin Nimitz, Macy Oldie, Destiny Brown, and Mikasa Learman. Please stop in the office.
Okay.
Braden Graham, Kelsey Schwartz, Seth Hart, Garrett Ragland, Emily Berkeley, Hallie Carnegie, Tyler Heidemann, Trevin Lykin, Ashley Griffey, Evie Schwab, Caitlin Nimitz, Macy Oldie, Destiny Brown, and Mikasa Learman. Please stop in the office.
Okay.
Reminder to check the lost and found to clear out all the items before Christmas break, and also clean out your gym lockers before you leave today. Remember to check the lost and found for any items and to clean out your gym lockers before you leave today.
Okay, voice typing. Click on that. There's a little bit of a learning curve. You got to figure out where the correct distance is for it to best pick up your voice. And I don't remember if it's this one or the app, but you may have to say period end to end your sentence. But this is very nice. That's not going to put your quotes in and stuff for you where you need those kinds of things, like if you've used something out of the research tool. But it's super nice if you're a slow typer, okay? Or you jammed your finger at the last basketball game, whatever. That's going to be a nice function for you. Okay? You guys were great. Thank you very much. You're moving on to your next,
All right, thank
last
you very
one.
much.
Yeah.
Yep, one more. Guys, we're going to go to room 204.